Sometimes one quote really puts everything in perspective, and I feel like my parents really had the best one. We're not upset. We're just disappointed.
I'm proud to be this team's coach. I'm proud of every single person in that locker room. They absolutely fought their tails off. This team doesn't quit. There's no moral victories or anything like that, but if we play like that, I know we're going to win more often than not.
I mean, by no means are we, I think Coach Hall just said it, by no means are we trying to make this a moral victory, because moral victories don't count in the NFL, but really proud of how the guys stayed together. There was no moaning and complaining on the sideline. We stared adversity straight in the face and responded. Just got to respond better.
Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, the New York Jets lose to the Minnesota Vikings 27-22. We fall to 7-5, and this was a really frustrating game for me because I'm not overly upset, but I'm definitely disappointed here. Felt like we let one slip away. So let's jump into my top 5 takeaways. I'll kind of hit some things in order as we go, as they come up. The first thing, a little bit of good news. Greg the Leg Zuerlein had himself a day, making 5 of his 5 field goals as well as his extra point with a franchise long of 60 yards. This dude, Legatron, has been a beast, and we finally have a kicker. It's been, God, at least 3, 4, 5 years now that we haven't had a kicker, and this guy can hit from anywhere on the field by the skin on his teeth on that 60-yarder. According to that one upright, but I'm pretty happy with what we got out of Greg the Leg. Really just needed him to stay in this game for the most part. 16 points from him was absolutely huge. On the defensive side of things, defense did pretty well. There was like frustrating points at certain points because of just little things that got at me. But by and large, if you told me this stat line before the game, I'd say we win this. Kirk Cousins goes 21 of 35, 173 yards and 1 touchdown. Justin Jefferson, who caught that 1 touchdown, had 7 receptions for 45 yards. If you told me we'd hold Justin Jefferson to 45 yards, there's no way they're winning this game. Dalvin Cook rushes for 20 yards, 20 rushes for 86 yards and a touchdown. Madison also had a touchdown run against us as well. The defense, it felt like it was a tale of two halves, because the first half we didn't get any pressure at all, no sacks, and it felt like the Vikings were, to run on us, and there was just enough there that I was like, man, we're not quite sharp enough, and we wind up going down 6-20 at half. And not all of that's on the defense. Some of it was the offense just putting the defense in bad positions, like the first 3 points that was scored off the Mike White interception. But man, it was a little bit frustrating. And then I guess you could say even the 3 points when you go for it on 4th down at the center of the field before half too. So there's another 3 points. I don't know. It felt like the first half was a little rusty maybe for the defense, and then the second half they really kind of kicked it into gear. We got 2 really big sacks when we needed them most on 3rd downs. The first one from Quinnen Williams. The next one was like a mass of people. I don't know who actually got credit for it, but like John Franklin Myers was in there, Huff was in there, Quinnen Williams was in there. Just a whole bunch of bodies getting to the quarterback at that point when we needed it most. And I like that we got those opportunities. I mean, we got all the way down the field. It just kills me. The defense put us in a position to win the game again. But, we just couldn't get it done. Overall, not really disappointed at all. It's just tough. This is a good offense. This was kind of where I thought things might go. I thought the Vikings offense versus our defense was going to be kind of that critical matchup. I thought our offense would be able to move the ball a little bit more. But defense held their own for the most part. Again, I don't know. I'm frustrated. I feel like that's going to be the thing across the board here. All right. Weapons getting involved. So we got Garrett Wilson leading the way, 8 receptions, 162 yards. The rookie's phenomenal. He's well on his way to getting another Pepsi Player of the Week, unless there's some other crazy stats going on with some rookies that I don't know about right now. Corey Davis has 5 receptions for 85 yards there. Got a shoestring tackle on him on one of those plays. And then Bam Knight has another impressive game, 20 touches, 118 yards. This kid is a one-cut runner, and I'll be honest, I don't particularly want to see James Robinson in the backfield again. Like when Michael Carter does come back, I would like Carter and I would like Bam Knight to be the lead backs, and I would like to have Ty Johnson be that third guy that we can kind of look at. Robinson, there's no reason to lose the 5th round pick when you have a guy like Bam playing the way he's playing right now. I've really enjoyed that. Garrett Wilson, dude's a dog. He took so many shots over the middle and just kept running. It was so impressive. And like, this stat line, this is great. I should be happy about this. But again, it like sort of because of how everything finished, I just sort of I get that like I don't know. You guys know where I'm at, I think. Next thing up, this was said during the live stream. This is a game of inches, and this game was the epitome of it. We had multiple opportunities that just by a fraction of an inch, you're talking just missed some things. Mike White misses Garrett Wilson on a bomb on that second to last drive. I think it would have been like an 80-yard touchdown, just wide open, blew past the corner. Garrett Wilson dives, just missing his outstretched fingers. Frustrating nonetheless, missing that. Garrett Wilson having that great completion, running along the sideline. He's getting like hit, and his toe like ever so slightly touches the White out of bounds. And he runs into the end zone, and I'm like, oh, he got it. And they whistle it dead. They wave their hands. Nope, sorry. Stepped out. Ugh. Corey Davis, like I mentioned before, had that nice long reception. Shoestring tackle. Would have been the go-ahead touchdown. Shoestring tackle. And then you get Berrios in the end zone. Tough catch, but that's a catch you got to make. Tough catch you got to make. But that's what it felt like, right? Like we were almost there each time. And I felt like we played well enough to win this game. Now, I give the team a ton of credit for fighting back. The amount of like issues that we've kind of had to contend with. Not to mention, I don't want to get into the reffing side of things, but let me just touch on it for a second. Like the refs, very frustrating. There were some no calls and some calls that I was just like, really? Like there's one, I saw Robbie Sabo post about it. It was on the Madison touchdown. Clearly an illegal formation because you have two guys in motion or illegal motion or whatever. Should have been blown dead. Pre-snap penalty. Winds up scoring a touchdown on that play. I don't know. Frustrating. You should be able to challenge shit like that, right? Like when it's clearly like they're moving. They're both moving at the same time. One dude's not set. That's a penalty. Clear as day. Like there's no disputing it. I don't know. It sucks. Really sucks. And then we get to Mike White. Mike White finishes the day 31 of 57, 54% completion percentage, 369 yards. That's back-to-back 300-yard games for the kid. 1 rushing touchdown, 2 interceptions. He hit 9 different receivers today. Last week he hit 10 receivers. This was a rough game overall. Not an upsetting game, but just a rough game. And it's I just kind of keep falling back on this same thing. And like I didn't think Mike White played bad, but when you have that many trips into the red zone, you got to come away with points. And it's a little bit of a mixture of play calling, Mike White not executing with the offense, and then the Vikings defense just playing stout defense. Every time we got into the red zone, we just could not punch it in. The only time we punched it in, they told us we didn't punch it in and we had to review it. It sucks. It really sucks to have this kind of come down like this because I feel like Mike White played well. There was a few passes. I felt like this game was not as crisp as previous games that we've seen from Mike White. There was a few more balls that were kind of thrown in tougher to catch positions. Like the misses felt closer to Zach Wilson completions, if that makes sense. Like when the receivers have to contort their bodies to catch balls, that's kind of what we were getting at of Zach. So today, not quite as sharp with Mike White. I would like to see him use his legs a little bit more. There was the third down play where he threw it to Elijah Moore on the right sideline that looked like he had a bunch of yards open in front of him, and I would have liked to have seen him just run. And maybe he doesn't get out of bounds, but there's still enough time right there where you can kind of recover from that. And then maybe you're dealing with a 4th and 3 or a 4th and 2 instead of a 4th and 10, and you're trying to rip the ball to Corey Davis and you get the interception. So I don't know. It's the whole thing is frustrating. When you're sitting at look, you got 2 opportunities in the red zone within 3 minutes, and you could not punch it in. You had 4 plays from like the half-yard line or 3 plays from the half-yard line, and you just couldn't get it in. The 3rd and 1 on the goal line, the second to last possession, where it was like a fade to Garrett Wilson, I don't know why that play's ever called, because at best case scenario, I mean, obviously it's a touchdown, I guess, but like there's so many things that could go wrong. This time Garrett Wilson slips and just there's no shot. The play's dead. The ball's already in the air. Play's over. Like when we're on the goal line, I like seeing the quarterback roll out a little bit, run a little play action. It was the perfect opportunity. We had just run 2 plays to the running backs. Do a little play action of Bam Knight, roll out, allow your tight end to run with you, run a wide receiver along the back of the end zone, give your quarterback 2 opportunities. If he can't pass it to one of the 2 receivers, maybe they're not open, maybe he runs it in. If he can't run it in, he throws it out of the back of the end zone. You live to fight another day. That's probably the one play that really, I think irked me. Overall, the red zone efficiency was just not real great today. But across the board, like Robert Saleh and Mike White said, I'm pretty proud of this team. I'm not overly upset. I'm frustrated because this was another one the Jets could have won. Now you're starting to stack these games. I feel like we could have beaten the Ravens. We played well enough to win with relatively good quarterback play. I feel like you lose both games against the Patriots that could have been winners. This game, losing to the Vikings, especially you're hanging with one of the best teams, possibly the number 1 seed in the NFC, taking them down to the wire. And really, if you're on your A game, you beat them. They had a fully healthy team. That I don't know what you could have done. Maybe they were missing their tackle or something. I don't know. Darisaw, I think, was out. But either way, this game felt like one we should have won. Felt like we could have had it. Now we got to go into Buffalo. It's going to be a far bigger must-win. Right now we're sitting in the 7th seed because the Chargers did lose to the Raiders. That really helped us. Now, unfortunately, the Bengals wound up beating the Chiefs. That doesn't help us. But the Jets are going to have to win some games here. And they're going to have to win some hard games that, we were probably not hoping we were going to have to win. This Bills game becomes a lot more important, especially if there's any sort of shifting in the wild card standings. Maybe Miami winds up jumping up into the division lead, and then Buffalo falls back down into the wild card situation with us. So we got to get involved there. And the Patriots just sitting behind us in the wild card just scares the crap out of me. So I don't know. Like I said, guys, I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. I'm very blah right now. I really wish we got this one. Let me know your thoughts and comments below in the comment section. And as always, go Jets.